In this video, we're going to focus on how we can make now our item nicely draggable. So once we're on here, you can drag this, and you can see as I drag this from here, it changes this here nicely. And you can see here, wherever it is, probably at July 17, July 17. So if I drag this here, then you can see this works as well. You will notice that this is not fully functioning yet, but most of it does. So if I just scroll like this, and then we say drag this, this all works nicely. You can drag here as well. But of course, there's still some tiny bugs, but that will be covered in another video. Let's start to look at first making this functionality working. So here we're going to continue on, and this is part 25. And what we're going to do now is, because we have this dragging here, but what we don't have yet is a matching background color, or at least the area should be then swiping along with it. So let's start to do that. So I'm going to scroll down here. Let's go all to the bottom, and then we're going to work on this part here. So we have the drag move here, and what we need to do basically, because this is a conflict, and that conflict is very easy to solve, but of course it creates a lot of connections, and so you have to pay attention here, and all these connections can be very confusing. So our conflict is this. This is at the very end here, and then once we change here something, it updates it, and that's fine. However, the color here is somewhere at the very halfway through here, somewhere in the zoom box, I guess. That is here. Most likely it's this one here. And what we need to do now is we need to figure out how can we move or basically adjust this part here. Not even this one. I'm looking for the background color here. I think this is the item itself, and probably this entire item can be used. So what I want to do here now is I'm going to use a trick here, because we have this min and max value, which is absolutely fine. Everything works here, but this is gathered once we load from the other item here, and at the bottom we have a problem. So how do we reconnect with this function here? Well, basically I cannot redirect to the same function because we're still functioning within that function, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct? Yes, that is here. Yes. So that means we need to connect them by creating a function within this function. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to see a function, and this function I'll just call the zoom box item, and here again min and max. So it's redundancy basically, but it's a reference to this here, but later on also a reference to any other value that we're going to assign afterwards. So I'm going to put that in there, and then we can just, well, we can just copy or look at this part here, this entire item. I'm going to cut out this, put it in here, and then what I'm going to do is give this a proper indentation. There we are. There we are. Alright, semicolon here. So if we save this, you will see that nothing really changes. Or am I correct? Or does it? Alright, fascinating. It does change something here. So let's see what's going on here. Probably we have here the swiper button is the min and max value. Alright. Well, so after looking at it, of course, why it didn't work, because of this. I need to, of course, activate or trigger this function. So I'm going to trigger it now, saying like this value here, which is reference to that. So that's my bad. Once we save this, refresh, look at this. Alright, so we have them. Now we need to start to move this. So how do we do that? I'm going to scroll down here, and we're going to look at the drag move here. What we're going to do now is we're going to do something. Luckily this is quite simple. First of all, I'm going to say here my chart number 2 dot update, and we're going to update none. I want to update but do not show any items or any activity. So that's the first one. And normally I would say here we can get the canvas, but this one is just the my chart object and not the canvas itself. So this is very important. So that's the only exception here. So the next thing what I want to do then is I want to grab here this item, which is then changing we need to grab this. So I'm going to say here, I'm going to grab here the zoom box item first. Then we have here two values, the min value and the max value. In this case, because this one was targeted on the max value, I'm going to grab here this date scroll point, which would update this one here. Then what I want to do for the min value, because the min value should not be the min, and the reason why for that is because this min value, if we just only use this, it will be from the chart at the initial loading. So I don't want that. So that needs to grab here now again from this item. If I copy this, put it here, and we say here min. So then we get it from the chart, whatever that value might be. This is very important. Sounds very weird, but if you save it, you will see this should work nicely. There we are. Because what is the issue now? We're going to this. Of course, we don't have yet the scroll functionality yet, but as we do this, and if I would be alright, interesting, then here it works. You can see this works nicely. So if I don't do this, if I say just only min here, it will grab the old value. So if I do like this, then it might jump. Oh, interesting enough, it doesn't jump. I had an experience that it was jumping, but apparently it is not jumping, so that is fine. So this is the first one that we need to do. The next one we're going to work on, and you can see here this is still buggy, or not really buggy, it doesn't handle certain restrictions like this. So we have to solve that. But that's later on or in the next video. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy all of this, and I guess the min value is fine. I'm going to put it in here, just enter, put that in there. Then we have here, this should be the min value, so we can remove those two lines here. And then this, let's remove the scroll point here, the console log. We should not have all these console logs here. They might slow us down. Save this, refresh. Alright, so now we get something interesting. As you can see here, oh, of course. So what is the issue here? My bad. This is the min value. This is, of course, look at what I'm doing here. Not allowed, of course. Cut out that, put it in here, and then here we assign the max value. Save that, refresh. Now, there we are. Then we move this. Alright. I guess this is what I was afraid of, but apparently what we have to do, don't worry about it. We're going to copy this, just assign it here. Let's say here the min value, and for the other one here above, that should be the max value. I guess that was the point I was trying to make, but somehow in the beginning it didn't work. But now if we do this, we have that. If I scroll here, and then you can see here, we can already grab it here. So this already recognizes it. The only thing what doesn't recognize is when we have the dragging here below, it doesn't recognize that point. As you can see, it still maintains here. So we could drag this here, but not on this point here. So next video, we're going to fine tune this final item here. Then this will work, and then eventually we need to look at these weird situations.